Let's go now to Sydney Airport and catch up with Tony McAvoy, who's an SC and he's a member of the referendum working group who gave that crucial advice on the referendum question to the Prime Minister announced today. Thanks for joining us, Tony. It's been a big day, a big process for you. Obviously, you're happy at the wording that the Prime Minister's gone with, or have you had to compromise it in some ways?
Thank you, Chris. It is a big day. It's a big day for me and all of those people on the working group. I think it's a big day for the country as well. It's been a long time since we've been in this position where a parliament is ready to go to a referendum. I'm happy with the outcome. The referendum working group was unanimous in its support for the outcome, and that emotion showed through today in the presentation of the cabinet decision in relation to the wording and to the design principles which were also released.
Yeah, there's emotion on the other side too. A lot of people are angry and fearful about this, what this could do. And there's been a lot of focus on having advice going to executive government as well as the parliament. Even Voice supporters like Professor Greg Craven have suggested that should go. How serious was the consideration of knocking out executive government? Even if you didn't think that there were legal problems there, it must have been tempting to knock it out just to placate those critics.
These decisions which have been taken by the referendum working group are given the utmost care and attention to detail, as you would expect. People understand the seriousness of the circumstances we are in, and there was a lot of thought put into the positions which were ultimately taken. There are some things, though, that if this voice is to have the effect that we all want it to have, there are some things that we just can't let go of, and one of those is the power to advise the executive government, because that is where so many of the decisions that affect the daily lives of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island people across the country are made.
So when it comes to these legal issues, you would have seen the advice the government got from the Crown Solicitor. Do you believe that the public should see that advice?
I have not seen any advice from the Solicitor General, I think you're referring to.
Sorry.
Yes, so the Solicitor General attended a meeting with the Attorney General. He spoke to the referendum working group, as did the Attorney General, and everybody listened carefully and asked questions. And then the referendum working group went on to consider what had been presented.
All right, let me just jump in there though. If there is written advice from the Solicitor General to the government on this matter, do you believe it should be made public to reassure the public?
Oh, that's a matter for the government. I'm not entering into that. All I know is that we had a lengthy discussion with the Solicitor General and the Attorney General, and the referendum working group made a decision after having taken into account.
Well, if you haven't seen that, if you haven't seen any such written advice, would you like to see it?
No. The referendum working group got advice from the Constitutional Expert Group, which is comprised of experts from around the country who are constitutional law experts. There have been other advices from other constitutional law experts who are outside of the working group, and indeed I have spoken to colleagues about this, many colleagues, and I'm comfortable with where the wording sits.
Well, this will be where the focus is for a lot of the fear campaign. Yeah, I'm aware, as many other lawyers and former High Court judges and all that, but that's why I want to talk about it, because there'll be a lot of debate zeroing in on this. If I can finish off then with the double-barrelled question, and that is, what chance do you think that there is of this proposal getting support from the Liberal Party, from Peter Dutton and the Liberal Party, and can it actually get up at a referendum without that support?
I think that it probably can get up without that support. I think that the times have changed significantly, and people get their information from a whole range of sources these days. It's not the circumstances we had in 1999, where people mainly got their information from the television news and the newspapers. So I don't think that it's necessary to have bipartisan support, but of course, we would all love to see bipartisan support for it. We have met with Mr. Dutton and Mr. Julian Leeser about this in the working group, and we've had discussions with them.
We will
would
see.
very much like to see the Liberal Party support it, but everybody knows that the opposition leader is in a difficult position. He has people in his party who are pro and people who are anti the Voice, and he has to manage that. I'm not privy to.
And neither you or I can help him with that difficult task. Thanks, Tony. I really appreciate your time.